In the previous video, we created a C# file called program.cs, and we used the following code to print "Hello World" to the screen. In this video we will see the basic syntax of C#. Using system means that we can use classes from the system namespace. C# ignores a blank line and white space. However, multiple lines makes the code more readable. A namespace is simply a grouping of related code elements. These elements include classes, interfaces, enums and structs etc. We'll cover each of these elements in subsequent chapters. Curly braces are used extensively in C# to indicate the start and end of a code element. All opening braces in C# must be closed with a corresponding closing brace. C# comes with a large amount of pre-written code that are organized into different namespaces. The system namespace contains code for methods that allow us to interact with our users. One advantage of declaring namespaces is that it prevents naming conflicts. Two or more code elements can have the same name as long as they belong to different namespaces. For instance, the code below defines two namespaces, both of which contain a class named myClass. This is allowed in C# as the two classes belong to different namespaces, first and second. Class is a container for data and methods, which brings functionality to your program. Every line of code that runs in C# must be inside a class. In our example, we named the class program. The main method is the entry point of all C# console applications. Whenever a console application is started, the main method is the first method to be called. Notice the words string, args, inside the parenthesis of our main method. This means the main method can take in an array of strings as input. Do not worry about this for the moment. We'll cover these topics in upcoming videos. In our example, the main method contains two lines of code. The first line console write line, "Hello World," displays the line "Hello World," without the quotes, on the screen. The second line console read, waits for a key press from the user before closing the window. Both of the statements above end with a semicolon. This is common for most statements in C#. After the console read statement, we end our code with three closing braces to close the earlier opening braces. That's it, there's all there is to this simple program. We've covered quite a bit in this chapter. Now you should have a basic understanding of C# programming and be reasonably comfortable with Visual Studio. Before we end this video, there's one more thing to learn. That is comments. If you refer back to our "Hello World" example, you should notice that this line starts with two forward slashes, a simple program to print "Hello World." This line is actually not part of the program. It is a comment that we write to make our code more readable for other programmers. Comments are ignored by the compiler. To add comments to our program, we type two forward slashes in front of each line of comment like this. Alternatively, we can also use for multiline comments like this. Comments can also be placed after a statement, like this. If you have any doubts or suggestions, please let us in comments, and thanks for watching this video.